Network Entertainment.
I lost my job. I had a job in the US.
Oh,
I should be better at this. Where did I go wrong?
right.
Again, that necessary struggle, right? That
Right.
happened. That moment made me go there. I can't emphasize enough that, di ba, he who has the most tools in life wins.
Right.
So build that bag of yours with as many tools as you can. EQ, again, time management, and growth mindset. Put all of those things there. And you're going to be okay. In fact, it's your edge.
Hi, this is Mirza Season. Welcome to You Can Do This, a podcast that'll help you achieve your dreams and goals one episode at a time. What are you waiting for? Let's go! We've all been there. At the start of anything, everything feels so exciting. You've got momentum, a plan, and a goal. But somewhere along the middle, things get messy, and that's where most people lose steam and make the mistake of giving up. If you've ever found yourself stuck in the middle, too far in to quit, but too tired to keep going, this episode is for you. This is the expertise of today's guest. He's an executive coach to what he calls messy middle founders and CEOs, leaders navigating that uncertain space between early success and sustainable scale. He coaches executives to go beyond their limits by guiding them to think clearer, decide faster, and lead stronger, turning complexity into clarity and ambition into aligned action. Please welcome Coach Jay Buenaflor.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much
Hi,
for having me.
Jay.
Thank you,
So happy
Mirza.
to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Super.
So, when life or work gets messy, it's easy to feel like we're doing something wrong. Like, we beat ourselves up. But you call the stage actually the messy middle. What does that mean?
It's when a business from startup hits that either maybe it's a dip or a wall,
Right.
whatever they describe,
Obstacle.
and they start wondering, why am I stuck? I'm not growing. The company's not growing. And usually here in the Philippines, it's companies that are in about the 50 to 250 million pesos annual revenue range. Okay, and what happens really? It's two things: lack of knowledge and lack of money.
Oh.
But you know what it is? It's really knowledge. The knowledge part will solve the money part.
Okay.
And knowledge. So what happens? You have a lot of entrepreneurs great at sales. They come in, the company, boom. Tapos they realize, hey, you know what? I can't manage people. I don't know financials. And they start to panic. And that's where I come in and say, okay, let's talk about it.
Right.
What really is the challenge here? And so I just came from my client, and today just seeing him joyful after 5 months of me helping out, we'd put a team together. I helped hire the right people. Today he was just so joyful. He was thinking and saying, Jay, 5 months ago I was lost, I was stuck. And we had that conversation. It was Cafe Breton and in Ayala 30th. And he realized, he said, I need you, Jay. And here we are, 5 months, he's so happy.
Wow. Is this messy middle normal or inevitable?
Absolutely.
Or
I mean,
for some, is it smooth sailing all the way or no?
maybe, but I've never heard a story about smooth sailing. It's always people going through something. It's a necessary struggle.
Right.
But the key really here is reach out and seek help.
Right.
You don't need a coach. You don't. I mean, if you can find a mentor, there's a difference, a mentor, coaching.
Right.
If you can find a mentor that can help, go for it. That's what I've learned. It's talk, go out, get out of the building. You're not gonna find the answers in front of your laptop.
Right. And get out of your head, right? Because sometimes it's all in our head.
Absolutely. And that's why it's great. Coaching really helps. We're in just
Right.
those scary thoughts. they don't seem so scary after all, after you talk to someone, right? I
Right.
agree. Yeah.
And so, how did you come to become a messy middle founder expert coach?
People just came and asked for help because of my business background and the fact that I really love to share and help.
Right.
My life purpose is to spread love by helping others become the best they can be. So I've been really doing this for quite some time, the helping people.
Right.
And then later on, it just became businesses asking for help.
Right. What are some examples of this messy middle situation? Like, I can imagine massive debt or burnout
Sure.
or a relationship breaking down,
Sure.
maybe.
Okay. The massive debt part, not quite yet. They're not yet at that point. Hopefully they
Okay.
don't. Hopefully they don't get to that
Building.
point. But a lot of the relationship part. Sometimes they're couples who get into business. That's one.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Mahirap
one.
yan.
Yeah, that one. So I've come in sometimes like a therapist, in the middle,
Right,
parang,
right.
hey, working things out. Okay, you do this, you do that. That kind of thing. A lot of the issues also, and this is what I've been really realizing this past few years, it's like maybe 90, sabi natin 92%, they don't even have financials. I mean, as in FS or even P&L, kahit profit and loss,
Right, right.
or FS financial statements, yan yun. That's always a challenge. So the only reason they know they have money is there's money in the bank.
Oh,
That's it.
right.
But they have no idea if they're actually losing money because there is this fear about numbers, about financial. Ay, wala akong alam yan eh. Mga ganon. So I come in and say, hey, first of all, if I'm gonna help you, that's one thing I require, that we will have financials.
Okay.
That alone is a boom, a huge, huge thing. Because when there is clarity, they now have space to breathe and say, okay, now I understand.
And no matter how painful.
The truth is,
Right.
yes, yes. Totoo, no? Some don't want to do it because they're afraid about the
Yeah.
truth.
Like, if you ignore it, it will go away.
That's what we all think as human beings, right?
Right,
Isang tabi
right,
na lang
right.
natin yan.
Right, right.
But there's a term, di ba, yung organizational debt. It's gonna collect whatever you set aside.
Right.
I mean, look, totoo, let's not fight all the fires, right? Totoo, there's some fires later. So in the beginning of a business, yes, don't come up with a great accounting system. That, later. Put up a business, sell. But after, not too long after, put together the right infrastructure in
Right.
place. Yes. So, eventually, the other thing is operations. That's a huge thing, looking for an operations person. Because sabi nga nila that a business now is like a three-legged stool. One, you have the originator. Let's start with the originator. That's the visionary. And then you have the organizer and you have the operator. So you for a long time that the organizer, the originator does all of those three things. But eventually, as you grow, you gotta separate that. I have found myself to be that organizer. So I
Okay.
come to him and I come to her or him and say, hey, we gotta organize things. And then usually it's looking for an operations person.
Right.
That is one of I say that's the toughest role to fill.
Right.
It's really that's the COO or operations manager who works with the CEO, the originator, right? So really looking for this person that can work. That's what I do.
Right.
And sometimes I need to train. Because this role could be anywhere from 150 to 250,000 a month. For a company that's doing, let's say, 5 million pesos a month revenue, 100, 200,000, that's a lot. So we'd get someone, maybe 75,000 and then train that person. I help
Right.
with that.
Right.
So that's what I also do. So when that's all together, boom.
Right. This is also applied to life Like if you don't have those millions in your business, but you seem to be stuck in like a messy middle.
of life. That's even harder. Let's not talk about that. No, but you know what? I'll
Or a
share with some
career.
or a
Let's say a
career.
career
Yeah,
slump.
correct. Okay, got it. So what happens is when this I start to work first with that originator, the
Right,
founder.
right,
That's
right.
it. I
Okay.
don't even go into the business and study the books. No,
Right, right, right.
it's a one-on-one conversation. First, I check in. How are you? Physically, emotionally. That's important because if that's not working, that's not, so. I think just like in life, first you gotta be in a good state, right? And then after that, we all have a conversation about why did you start this business again in the first place? The
Right.
why, the purpose. Just for him to or her to remember. Because you get so caught up, right, in the
You
day to day
forget
of a
your
business,
why.
you forget your why. And then where do you wanna go again? Yeah. Where do you see yourself? If you had a magic wand. So then now the person goes, okay, I remember why I'm doing this, and now I'm seeing where I want to go. A lot of that, they get unstuck with that. They
Right.
go now, okay, Jay, what do we need to
Okay.
get there? So there, that's it.
Right.
So I
Right.
think even in career, it's
Yeah.
important. Mirza, di ba? I mean, I know we're gonna maybe get flack over what I'm about to say, but di ba yung don't do it for the money? Don't, yeah, I mean, yun. I mean, if ikigai, passion, purpose, what you're good at, if you figure that out, go for it. Because if you're gonna do it just for the money, at some point, mababurn out.
Right.
And
Eh kung walang money at all, paano na?
I, that's really and I agree. I
Right.
agree that there are those na things that need to be covered. And one thing sabi nga sa coaching, di ba? I don't know if you know this, parang don't go into coaching full time. Have a day job. Di ba? Have
Sa
a day
umpisa.
job. I've heard that. So I mean, do something you're passionate about, but also understand that you need to survive.
Yes.
If you can, do
Right.
both, right?
Right.
So I do have a discovery call this Friday, for example, exactly that. The challenge is he is working but also wants to do this. So how we'll try to figure it out.
Right. So can you share some inspiring stories, whether about yourself or clients, about how you got them through a messy middle situation?
Sure. I just want to do this the freshest I have. I just came from him. It's about 30 minutes away, his office. I know. So basically, he had heard about what I do, and then we had that Cafe Breton conversation. And those are my questions, what I asked. And then he tells me now, he says, at that moment, he was saying, I need Jay. Right? And so I proposed, let's have a strat planning session. So we did, and in the room was just him, his girlfriend, who was also the COO or chief everything officer at that point, parang CEO, plus his executive assistant. That was it. That was how his executive team was, how big it was. This was 5 months ago. And the thing is, and I told him over Mancom this morning, he was humble. He said he knew that he didn't know it all. He thought he did. He said, why would I need a coach?
Right, right.
I can learn this on YouTube. He'd read books. He had read books. He did Simon Sinek. He did, Stephen Covey, all of that.
Right.
So he said, I already know. But then when, as a coach, you start asking the right questions, right? The active inquiry, the powerful coaching questions, he realized na, oh nga no. Kasi, and he reminded me this morning, one question you asked, Jay, the team you have now, I asked him, is that gonna be the team that will take you to where you want to go? Remember, I'd asked already where you want to go. And that made him think, no. And so that him being open, and sabi nga nila, Mirza, the worst disease in the world is acne. Alam mo ba yan? Acne. Alam ko na yan.
With a K.
With a K. So Mirza, because of that, wala siyang acne. He was very open. And with that, he said, Jay, help me. And so we got an operations person and then marketing and then voila. Today, he's got his own COO.
In 5 months.
In
Wow.
5 months.
Wow.
Finance head.
Right.
Finance head. Marketing head. Sales head. I got a talent acquisition person. Basta, if you're open, yung walang acne.
So you have to have the humility to ask for help and know na mali yung acne.
Absolutely. And when I look for a client to coach the business, I look for 5 things. 1, are they coachable? Coachable. Now, of course, your stubbornness got you to where you're at. Keep that, please. Okay yun. But be coachable. Number 2, be a good human being. I cannot work with jerks, number 1. But also, I want someone who says, hey, part of the reason I'm doing business is I want to help people. That's so important for me. Tapos the rest is, are they ambitious? Do they have grit? That's the other thing, di ba? Kasi when the going gets tough, you gotta get up. And so those are the things I look for.
Right.
And I think that those things serve you well also in life.
Yeah.
Right, Mirza?
Right.
Even just career. I mean, I have a daughter, 22 years old. She's just starting work. She's in Boston. I think the same things apply, just learn, have a growth mindset, network, talk to people, relationships. Because like that also for a CEO, you have to have great relationships with the people you work with. Take your people out to lunch, one-on-one. Get to know the people you work with, their life stories. So it applies in life, just relationships.
From
That's
what you've
leadership is.
observed, where do people get stuck mostly?
It's when you get caught up with that day-to-day,
Yeah.
that grind,
Right.
wherein you're doing everything. I know it's called time management, but sometimes I think it should be called prioritization management.
Right. So you're putting out fires and then you confuse the
Choose your-
urgent with the
yeah,
important.
There. Alam mo, if I'll make kwento, I shouldn't say this because baka mawala na yung coaching industry natin. But when I make people do the time management quadrant, it's like a wow. And they just see, what they see a lot of in the quadrant 4.
Right.
That
The fires.
the 60% of their time is into video games.
Hindi man lang urgent or important.
Nothing. The time wasters.
Okay.
They realize I'm putting so much time into the time wasters. And then when they realize that, I tell them, go to quadrant 2, the important, not urgent.
Right.
Breathe in and out. You deserve peace, and sometimes peace starts with a clean home. With CleanWorks, you don't just get a spotless space, you get mental clarity. Professional cleaners, systematic service, hygienic, safe, and stress-free. Let CleanWorks handle the mess so you can focus on what truly matters. Rest, family, or just your time. Clean space, calm mind. Book now at CleanWorks PH on Instagram or Facebook, or call 0966 200 6910 to schedule your cleaning. Because self-care starts at home.
Read books, or sabi ko nga, okay, if you don't want to read books, that's fine. Videos.
Yeah.
They're out there free.
Yeah.
Free.
YouTube University.
YouTube University. Diba back then, Mirza, I don't know about you, no? Back in the day, you had to go to a bookstore and go to the self-help section.
Yeah, or buy VHS.
But to watch. But now, it's all there. So please, to have a fixed mindset in this day and age, that's sad.
Right.
That's sad. You know, Mirza, parang ako nga, if the question was, if I had a chance to go back in time, what would I do? I think I would start learning these things at, siguro natin 22.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, all of these things, like, just go 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? Or, Ikigai, those things.
Right,
if you could do it at 22, wow.
And speaking of smartphones as time wasters, diba? Pandagdag din yan sa overwhelm natin. We're juggling so many choices, like you see a red button and then you fall down rabbit hole. So we get decision fatigue. You teach people how to make clear decisions faster. What's the trick there?
One of the first questions I ask, how many hours of sleep do you have? And what time do you sleep?
Right.
Because they may say, oh, I sleep 9 hours. Yeah, but if you sleep at 1 a.m., it's not the
Right.
same, right?
Right.
Diba sabi nila, I think it's before 11 p.m.
Circadian rhythm.
There you go. So have that before sleep 7. Sige na, sabi natin 7 hours before 11 p.m.
Right. Why?
That's critical because your brain, it's like, it's not functioning right.
Right.
So I come in and coach, you know what's going to happen, and you're tired. You're like, what is he talking about?
Right.
And so that's it. For me, start with that. Now, so we ask, if the person says, I sleep at 2. Why? I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, now here we go. How many hours? Then we go do the time management quadrant and we find out, how many
Right.
hours really are you on the phone? We'll say 4 hours. So what is that doing to your brain?
Right.
Now, if you tell me, I'm watching 4 hours of John Maxwell, Simon Sinek, and okay,
Yeah.
got it, check, sige. But if it's just, people dancing,
Cat videos.
cat videos, dog videos, okay, but cat videos, just kidding. It's an inside joke I have. I have a dog, but yeah, no, really. And sayang, the youth is wasted on the young. But what they say, So, you're young, you're energetic. Have a growth mindset. Learn. Be uncomfortable.
Right.
Don't stay in the comfort zone. So when I recruit, Mirza, I ask a question. 2 doors. Safe, secure, comfortable, or door 2, hardship, love, suffering, pain, joy, getting up, grit, resilience. And when people say they'd rather go door 1, I don't continue on with the conversation, with the interview.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen if you want to be
Right.
safe, secure, and comfortable.
So how does all this make us decide faster? You got your sleep, you got your priorities, you're not wasting time. Okay, how do you decide faster? Sa dami ng choices.
Really, one thing is clear your brain. Okay. One thing I also teach is do a daily journal of to-do list. Number
Right.
1, yung daily to-do list. That's like automatic. Have a to-do list. So at least the things that
Right.
floating in your mind, put it on paper.
So it's clear.
Clear. And then now that will help you, right? And it's funny. I mean, I read somewhere that the brain can really hold 3 thoughts lang. Okay, but maybe that's a male brain. Ano? Maybe the female brain
Hindi kayo
can have
multitasker.
Yeah, exactly. Female brain will have 27
Right,
things and
right,
they're
right,
fine.
Right.
But the male brain maybe 3.
Right.
And so if that part of the 3 is, oh my God, I have to buy that patis that my wife, put it on paper so that you have your brain fresh and ready for the more
Right.
important things like, what should I be watching next on TED Talk? There.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So do you think that the indecision contributes to getting stuck in that messy middle?
You know,
And how can they like move out of it?
sorry, you gotta get a coach.
Yun ang bottom line.
You know, no. Or talk to someone.
Right.
But coaching talaga, Mirza, di ba? It's just powerful questions that make you go,
Right.
Di ba we know this in coaching? When a person is quiet, you're like, yeah. Di ba? Parang,
Don't interrupt.
di ba? The silence, ano? Because you know that's that boom moment that that person is realizing. It's
Right.
really just giving them that space.
Right.
And the great thing about coaching, di ba, Mirza, it's one, that's the enlightenment, but the other is the action part.
right. Right.
So
right.
now we ask, hey, okay, now that you have that realization, what's next?
Right.
So there. I mean,
And for
that's
those of our listeners who can't get a coach yet, what can they do on their own? Like simple baby steps to help them get unstuck, whether they are suffering a crisis in their business or in their career.
I don't know.
Besides
I ca-
sleep before 11, 8 hours of sleep, check the time wasters, do a brain dump on paper.
Sure.
Okay, what else
I
can they
think
do?
that's, I think that will, again, sige na nga. I mean, if you can't get a coach, get a friend.
Yes.
Get a friend.
Talk
I mean,
to the friend.
relationships.
Yes.
Really, talk to friends. And one thing, spirituality, prayer. I mean, that's a huge thing. It could be a scientific thing too about prayer, that it gives you that space to
Right,
relax, right? It's
right.
like if you don't meditate,
Right.
I mean, okay, if you don't meditate, there's prayer.
Right.
But there's also that. There's meditation. I do that. And yeah, and just be positive, be optimistic, hopeful. Know that it's a beautiful life that has challenges and it is part of it. Reconcile with yourself that the challenges, they're there to make you better.
Right.
When you embrace that, it helps.
So reframe the crisis
Reframe and
as
say,
a challenge. And you also stress that the messy middle is where transformation begins.
absolutely. I feel sorry for businesses, or at least the leaders of the businesses that just go boom,
Yung smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing.
Walang ano.
because when the challenges come down the road,
Right.
they're like, oh, I don't know this, but mabuti nang learn it early on, so that when that happens, it's like, oh, okay.
It's better to fail fast and
Fail,
forward.
fail fast, fail often, fail forward.
Right. You also teach your clients to reflect before reacting.
Yes.
So for
yes.
people who are not executives, but they have to deal with everyday stress, how can they build that habit of not being so reactionary and pause to reflect? What do you do in your own life when things get crazy? Oh, he's pausing right now, as you can
exactly. Yes. Because I want to talk about emotional intelligence.
see. Yes.
You know, I just had a feedbacking session with my team this morning while on the road, so you don't waste time, right? On traffic.
Was it on cam? No.
Yeah, naturally, Mirza, it is always on cam.
Para kayo may reality show.
Correct. That's the idea. Yeah, see, look at them. They're like, yeah. So and our creative director, he himself really has become someone, more emotionally intelligent.
Right.
And how does it work? One is I make them read this article that says the 18 signs of a highly emotionally intelligent person.
Okay.
So, I mean, one is the caffeine intake, slow down. So that's
okay.
one. But yeah, it's the ability to pause before you react. Give yourself time. Okay,
And as you're pausing, what are you thinking?
just hold on, relax. Okay, just slow down first before you react. And I think part of that emotional intelligence is in self-awareness, right?
Right.
The ability to look at yourself from outside and say, okay, look, Jay, pause first.
Were you always like this?
What is this? Which yung emotionally intelligent and all of
Pausing
things
before
posing? No, of
reacting?
course not.
How did you know? What's J before and J now?
Remember, this is the Philippines where you want to fight with the policeman, with the government,
Tama. All the
di ba?
daily aggravations.
Aggravations, di ba? but-
Microaggressions
But
ang tawag. No?
microaggressions, I realized, and this is what, maybe almost 20 years ago, that I could have been a better person. I lost my job. I had a job in the US.
Oh.
And I realized that I could have been a better person, a better manager, better leader. That, again, that whole crisis made me realize the whole self-awareness. I said, okay, finally, parang in a way, finally, okay, let me go to that self-help section there.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That
and then I
sparked,
say, yes, that spark that said, okay, I should be better at this. Where did I go wrong?
Right.
Again, that necessary struggle, right? That
Right.
happened. And so that's what made me realize things. Okay, EQ. Finally, I needed to study what EQ really was. It was
Right.
always there,
Right.
And this is the thing about all of these things. It's there. But we are just so busy, again, maybe looking at those dancing cats, right? That we don't go, okay, ano ba tong EQ na to?
Right.
Ano ba itong time management? Ano ba ito? That moment made me go there. And I can't emphasize enough that, di ba, he who has the most tools in life wins.
Right.
So build that bag of yours with as many tools as you can. EQ, again, time management, and growth mindset. Put all of those things there. And you're going to be okay. In fact, it's your edge. Your edge. While the others are there, again, watching dancing cats, you are going around with that toolbox.
Right. Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Wow.
So, in closing, what do you want to say to the listeners who can resonate with what we're talking about if they're stuck in some messy middle of their life? What's the most important thing they need to know?
May I ask who you're learning? Who is your audience? Who
They're
are they?
mostly women.
Women, okay.
Yes, mostly
Women and
in their 30s.
In their 30s.
Career women.
Career women.
Independent. Ambitious.
Okay, first of all, I will say this. First of all, I love when I asked you in the beginning, before the program, about
Right.
this is for women. Fully, at one point, I would say 80% of the people I was coaching were women. Leaders. There is something about women as leaders that I'm really impressed with.
Dapat lang.
No, really.
Scientifically proven.
I'm sure I have not done I could write the book on scientific,
I'll send you the links.
Yes, please. If I could share. Actually, it's both the positive and the challenge.
Right.
Women are just really strong with that emotional connection. The positive is they can really connect with the people they work with. While men become uncomfortable with one-on-one conversations, right? With lunch over their people. Women, they're more comfortable. But also the but part is because of that emotional aspect, it also is a challenge for them.
Yes.
It is a challenge for them sometimes to make decisions that are hard decisions. And that's why they need a coach to make them, realize. But really, I'm truly, the COOs I work with, women. Somehow I cannot get COO na men. Like really.
Parang sa publishing din yan. Usually managing editor. Women.
Women. Why?
They're more talented at attention to detail.
Exactly.
The nitty-gritty.
Correct. Even sa finance department, I'm so biased na dapat babae ito. No, really. My client got a guy. So I was more like, talagang titingnan ko. So far, he's been great. I'll be honest. But in the beginning, I really had that look. Na, is this really the right person? Because somehow I always think it should be a woman. It should be a woman there. And just, sorry, the production company I work with, the CEO is a woman. I work well with her because she is also passionate. That's the other thing about women I've noticed. Some strong sa passion. Driven. And you women, when you're driven, frightening. Just amazing things come out. You know that the founder of a business that our family has is the woman.
Yes.
Si Teresa, right?
Yes,
of Ilan.
yes.
Again. My mom founded a restaurant chain 43 years ago.
Oh, which one?
With two other women. It's called Biggs and it's in Bicol.
Yes.
Yes, I think we talked about it before. Yeah. Again. And I can see the power talaga of women.
So what do you want to tell these women about their power?
Use it. One thing here in the Philippines I have noticed, they really, and I think maybe it's the matriarchal side, they admire women leaders.
Right.
They're fine with it. They're not threatened. In fact, I think men like working with women leaders because they're like their moms, right? and diba? I have COOs who are called mommy.
They respond better.
They respond
to the
better.
mother dynamic.
Correct. Use that mother dynamic. You can manipulate the men with that. No, yeah. Really. Now, I always say that the hardest working person in the world is the mother. A lot of you work, and then when you go home, you take care of the children, which includes your husband, by the way. Taking care of the children, and you have to clean, you have to cook. Diba? Your husband, who is watching TV as you come home, expects you to take care of everything.
Right.
And that's why the women keep at it.
You don't have to clean and cook, huh? You can ask your husband to share.
Go for it.
To share in the division of labor.
Exactly. Yeah. And remember, you can manipulate them to do that. You have the power. And you the women here in the Philippines, I think you have a great place here. You're wildly accepted here. You are, you're in a great place here in the Philippines. I will say that.
Right.
And so just believe in yourself. You're awesome. You're more intelligent, more emotionally intelligent than the men. And if you need a coach, just reach out.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Jay. Would you like to invite them to follow you, follow your work?
Sure.
Follow you on LinkedIn?
Sure. Look for me for Just Beyond Executive Coaching on YouTube. Be there. And you'll learn more about what we do, our mission.
Yes.
It's a mission that we have.
And remember, the messy middle is the point where transformation happens, as Coach Jay said.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that,
so
Mirza.
much.
Thank you very much, Mirza. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to You Can Do This. If you want to know more about me, visit mirza.com. That's MYRZA.com. And follow me at Mirza Season on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you like this episode, please don't forget to rate it 5 stars. Hit the follow button on your podcast streaming platforms and hit the notification bell to get alerted every time we release a new episode. Catch you at our next convo, and always remember, you can do this.
Breathe in and out. You deserve peace, and sometimes peace starts with a clean home. With CleanWorks, you don't just get a spotless space, you get mental clarity. Professional cleaners, systematic service, hygienic, safe, and stress-free. Let CleanWorks handle the mess so you can focus on what truly matters. Rest, family, or just your time. Clean space, calm mind. Book now at CleanWorks PH on Instagram or Facebook, or call 0966 200 6910 to schedule your cleaning. Because self-care starts at home.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.